Update from CSUN. All right, you guys. So, sorry that was all up in your guys' face, but so today is September 12th, Saturday, and I got home from work and I came home to this beautiful little letter from the Department of Education regarding my loan. So, a quick little update. If you didn't watch the first video, that's okay. You don't really need to watch the whole thing, just maybe the last hour of it. But what I didn't mention in that video is that last semester was really tough because I had been looking for a job since last year before I stopped working at Student Equity over at ABC. And I didn't have any luck finding a job or whatever, right? So basically, up until this year, in like June, I was without a job, no income whatsoever. The little that I was able to save from my prior job lasted me until maybe late February. And February of this year, I was having problems with CSUN, with their parking department. And again, that will probably be a whole video on its own. But I think it was maybe in May-ish where they had the whole CARES Act, and so I was able to get some money from that to keep me, existing. But because of everything that was going on, not having a job, not knowing how I was going to survive, how I was going to help my family, because they were hit pretty hard with the whole pandemic, right? It was very stressful. So what I decided to do was take out a student loan, right? I didn't want to max out my student loans, so I took out a loan for $4,100 so I could, survive for the rest of the year kind of thing. And this semester, I, had all my complications and problems with trying to register for classes. Up until last week, I was still unable to get the courses that I needed. So I ultimately, before I get to that, my job that I was able to get, I'm a tutor, right, for one of the local charter schools. And I knew from the beginning it was going to be a seasonal temporary job, right? And so they had told us it would be from June to maybe like August, right? And we actually had the opportunity to stay with them a little bit longer. So there was like a month, right? So right now I'm still there. And I decided to stick with the job because I knew for certain that that was going to be money coming into my pocket to help pay my expenses, right? And so I opted to do that. And because everything was up in the air with CSUN, I was like, you know what? If worse comes to worse, I'm going to reach out to my instructors and see if they'd be willing to, compromise and work with my schedule because, we are in a pandemic and things aren't normal, but everyone wants to try to make it normal. And I'm like, why? No. Like, people are still without jobs, like bills still have to get paid, people still have to pay rent, and like institutions want to act like nothing's going on, and that's a big problem. And so because of that, unfortunately, when I reached out to my instructors, they, flat out said, that's not my problem kind of thing. They were like, you knew what you signed up for when you registered for classes, you knew what time you were going to be allotted or whatever, all this stuff. And I was just like, are you guys not living in the same situation that everyone else is? Like, I don't know about y'all, but like, money's tight, and my job, so today also I found out my job ends the 30th of this month, right? So now I'm starting to freak out because I'm like, what am I going to do? What's going to happen with unemployment? Will I be eligible for unemployment? Like, there's so many things that I'm uncertain about. And to top it off, school, So, literally yesterday, I decided to drop my classes from CSUN. Prior to doing that, I had sent an email to financial aid at CSUN asking about what would happen in doing that, right? Because if you drop full-time status, right, you're no longer enrolled, you're no longer eligible for financial aid, and then your loans kick into effect, right? Or so that's my understanding, at least, right? So I was freaking out about that because I was like, if I take the semester off, they're going to want me to pay the $4,100 that I took out, right? Like, not immediately, but start a payment plan, right? Because that's how student loans work or whatever. And so I reached out to financial aid to see if I could take, a medical leave of absence for the semester because, well, medically, my mental health and physical health has been hit hard because of all the stress I've been going through with school. And right now I'm in the process of figuring out and finding out what the heck is wrong with me because in my family there are a bunch of, medical history problems. So like heart failure, heart conditions, diabetes, all these other things, and stress does not help any of those things. So although I am young, I am very prone or high risk to a lot of things. And again, my whole medical history, that's a whole nother fiasco, but we're talking about college right now. So right now I've been in the process of trying to get diagnosed with all these medical conditions that I may have, right? Like, what existing conditions do I have? And that's been on pause. But I know that my anxiety, my depression have been like flaring out. It's been super stressful, right? All these things. And I wanted to see if I could go ahead and do that. And I was uncertain about the process, the procedure to go about doing that. And so I reached out to financial aid and I said, can you please help me? It's been a week since I sent that email. They said it would take about a week. And so I was waiting till yesterday to see what was going on. No response. And so I just went ahead and dropped all my classes. So I don't know what's going to happen. But here's the funny thing. That's not so funny, but we're going to talk about it. This lovely letter that I received in the mail states, what the current situation is with student loans, right? So it talks about how currently the interest rate is going to be 0% up until December 31st of 2020, which is cool. So for all y'all who do have loans and have to start paying, we're not going to accrue interest, which is cool. And then administrative forbearance, all that good stuff, right? And then it says in the second page that Mohela, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but Mohela, recently reviewed or received enrollment information about my loan status, right? And so apparently CSUN said that I withdrew from CSUN on May 5th of 2020. And I was like, what? And that they received notification of this on September 7th of 2020. And I was like, how? When? When did I ever say? Because keep in mind, I registered for classes. I was registered for classes up until yesterday, Friday, September 11th. So I want to know, how the hell did CSUN say that I withdrew last semester? And so because of this, now my loan repayment date goes into effect November 6th of this year. So I have to set up a payment plan for my loan this year. They want a payment from me on November 6th, which is, what are we, October, November, 2 months from now? 2 months from now. I am shocked. I want to cry. I cried when I got this. And this is literally an hour fresh. Like, and I'm just like, this is what I wanted to avoid, and I still got hit with this. And so right now, I'm in distress. I am trying to stay super calm right now and trying not to cry while doing this, but like, this is ridiculous. Like, it is absurd. Is there, like, I don't know what am I supposed to do? I'm just baffled, honestly, that this is even happening. Like, how is it possible for an institution to be this horrendous? Like, and the scary thing is that this might not be the only time that something of this nature has happened. Like, I could probably imagine a handful of students going through something similar of this nature. And like, how is there no accountability? How are institutions getting away with doing stuff like this to students? Like how? It's insane. And then people are gonna be like, oh, well, they deal with like 40,000 students or whatever. I'm like, okay, well then you hire the staff that you need so that you can do your work diligently and do it accordingly. Like, this isn't a game. These are people's lives. Like, students, people like me who are trying to get an education, like, first generation college students, we're not privileged. We don't have the luxury of like choosing between school and working. Most of us have to do both at the same time. And I applaud all of those people, like all of the students who work and actually do phenomenal in school and like get straight A's and work and do internships. Like, I don't know how the hell you guys do it, but like, it's admirable, because I can't do that. I couldn't do it. I like half-assed my way through school because of work and other things that I got into. Like, I couldn't manage to secure the straight A's, the 4.0, and work 2 jobs and get involved with everything that I got involved with, right? Like, and so right now I'm just I don't know what to do with my life. I don't know what to do, and I'm just over it at this point. Like, so I guess right now what I'm trying to do is reach out to CSUN again, to their financial aid, their admissions and records. I honestly don't even know who I'm supposed to reach out to, and I don't even know if reaching out to the freaking dean of student life at this point or the VP is gonna do anything, because the amount of problems that I've had and the contacts that I have had with all those people and my chair, all, like, nothing gets resolved. It's just this endless circle of like, oh, you need to talk to this person, and this person sends you to someone else, and it's never, there's never a solution. You gotta go through like 20 billion hoops to resolve the minimal, and at that point it's too late. So I wish I had better news, guys. And yeah, I'm throwing the towel with this one, y'all. So right now I'm like pleading, like, I need help. I need help from whoever can resolve this, because I honestly don't know what to do. It's, I get over one thing and then boom, you know, and right now the fires, there's so much, you guys. I don't know. My heart is really hurting because there's so much crap going on in the world. So yeah, if anyone knows anything, if anyone knows anyone, come at me, please. I need help. So we'll see what happens.